Medical dispatch?
Yes, here. I have a caller at 2500 South Division Avenue, the Croc Center. They're in the gym with a male who is passed out. I pre-alerted.
Okay. Hello, caller. Tell me exactly what happened.
Yes, yeah. So we were at a basketball game, and this guy, he was playing at the Croc Center, and he fell, and it seemed like he just passed out. I'm not sure if he passed out or not, but he fell and he hit his head on the wall. And I'm not sure if he's having a seizure or not on the ground.
Okay.
He's on the ground right now.
The day that the call came in, I was actually at the end of my shift. I remember the day being pretty busy, and we were getting ready to head home for the night when the call came in and we started heading that direction.
Typical day at the engine house. Call came in the evening, so it would have been in the evening after dinner. We're trying to catch up, clean up, catch up on reports and paperwork and stuff like that. Usually in the evening we try to do that. It came in like any other call for the most part.
I believe this call came in just right after we had done cleaning up our dishes and getting ready to get into our nightly routine.
The dispatch information that I remember receiving was just that an 18-year-old male had collapsed at a gym.
I believe it came in as a seizure at the Croc Center.
If I recall correctly, it was that young male patient had collapsed in the gymnasium. And so we had no idea that it was going to be a CPR call. People fall all the time in the gym.
Is he still unconscious?
Yes, he's still unconscious. He has his eyes closed. He's lying up.
Okay. The ambulance is on the way to help you now. Stay on the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do next. All right. Now I want you to put one hand on his forehead, the other hand under his neck, and tilt his head back. Look at him carefully and see if you can see or hear any breathing.
Yes, he's still breathing. Yes, other breath taken. He's like super slow now.
Okay, he's not breathing enough, okay? So we need to do chest compressions for him. I'm going to tell you how to do chest compressions, okay? Make sure he's flat on his back on the floor. Place the heel of your hand on the breastbone, right between the nipples. Put your other hand on top of that hand. And we're going to pump the chest hard and fast, at least twice per second and 2 inches deep.
I'm Lieutenant Jeff Martin with Engine 10, Grand Rapids Fire Department.
Marcella Stoffer. I am a paramedic with Life EMS.
Equipment operator Ryan Slump.
When I heard that it was a cardiac arrest, I think we were just pulling in to the location of the call. And I was getting a little bit of butterflies before I go in, but I was starting to prepare for it.
Well, that kind of ramps up your intensity and your mind starts going on, okay, what am I going to do? What's my role? Like, how are we going to all do this fluidly? It's instinctive, but you still start going through the mental checklist of make sure I've got everything I need, and
Pediatrics are always difficult calls, especially with an arrest or a choking or something.
An adult patient in a cardiac arrest, we see a lot more often, so I feel more prepared for that one than if it's a child. There's obviously just a bit more, let's say, anxiety with it. We don't care for those patients quite as often as adults, so it's just, working through all the different changes that a child has compared to an adult. When we arrived on scene, I remember walking in and just seeing dozens of people exiting the location, just crying and obviously anxious. And then I remember outside of the gym, there was just a bunch of people on the ground just sobbing, crying, screaming.
I remember walking through by the front desk turnstiles and then entering into the hallway, and then there's quite a bit of commotion. There are bystanders that were in the gym that their emotions were pretty elevated. There's some people yelling at us to hurry up, and get in there, and so we're trying to stay calm. We understand that the emotions are running high.
First impression, the patient was supine on the floor, unresponsive, surrounded by staff and other kids. So we make room so we can assess and see what exactly is going on.
Okay. Ambulance are here, ma'am.
The ambulance is there. Is someone with him?
Yes. Yes, someone with him.
Okay. Don't stop until they take over, okay?
Okay, they're taking over right now.
Okay. All right. They'll help him, okay?
We immediately responded by a rapid assessment of the patient, which revealed that he was pulseless. So with a pulseless patient, we start with 3, typically upgrade to an echo level call, which sends us another engine and advises the ambulance crew of what's going on. With a 3-person crew, typically, I'm the lieutenant, I make initial patient contact. So remove the patient's shirt. My equipment operator, he carries the AED, so he's prepping the AED. The firefighter is getting a BVM ready so we can start ventilations, and I start chest compressions.
Immediately, my lieutenant goes to the patient's side and starts doing his primary assessment, determines that it's pulseless. Your general impression is formed pretty quickly, and you just got to get right to work.
As far as life-saving interventions, it was initial actions on a cardiac arrest. So I began chest compressions, removed the patient's shirt. Firefighter Lacados got the oxygen ready via BVM so we could deliver respirations, or ventilations actually. And equipment operator Slomp prepped the AED, got the pads ready, got the AED turned on so we could apply that. So it's really a rapid system with 3 of us, and if it's a cardiac arrest, we generally have pre-identified roles. Everybody knows, okay, this guy's pulseless, and we all step into our job that we do.
Then the AED gives its prompts, so it does its analyzing, stop touching the patient, and then we realize that, oh, shock's advised. So that's not most often you don't get that shock advised thing, and so it's actually kind of exciting when you realize that, oh, this is a viable patient, and we have a chance here to make a difference in this kid's life.
Our AED shocked with no results, so we continued CPR. The ALS crew is on scene rapidly, under 2 minutes, which is great. That takes a big load off. When they arrive, they actually arrived before our other engine company did. Our AED shocked, no improvement. We continued CPR.
When I saw the patient, he was with the fire department, and they had already noted that he did not have a pulse, and they had began to perform CPR, and they were ventilating him. Me and my partner both have kind of different roles on cardiac arrest, so I immediately went to getting my patient on my monitor, making sure that I can kind of visualize what was going on, and receiving a report from the fire department. And my partner started right away just also helping switch everything over and double checking that he had an airway intact that we could use, and just kind of double checking everything that was already done. So upon arriving there, I switched him from the fire department's AED onto my monitor, and I kind of got an overview of what rhythm he was in, and we found him to be in VFib. So while they're finishing up compressions, I got IV access on that patient, and then I was able to perform a defibrillation. When I thought that this patient might have a chance was when we did get ROSC, and he immediately just had a strong pulse. I believe he was tachycardic initially, and he had a fantastic blood pressure right away, along with CPR being started pretty quickly. It's usually a pretty good sign that we might get a good ROSC.
The medics came and they got their monitor attached to the patient. After a couple minutes of CPR, their machine shocked and the patient got a pulse back.
Once I saw that the patient regained a pulse, we just all got excited. We kind of were waiting for him to stabilize to make sure that the ROSC maintained.
Oh, it's a huge relief. That's exciting. Even as often as we spend doing CPR and as professional as we are about it, it's still not something you see most of the time. So if a patient gets a pulse back, it's always exciting.
Once the paramedics got their monitor on and connected our pads to their machine, and when their shock was delivered and we got a pulse back, it was a huge sense of relief. I mean, I have a kid his age, and so my emotions were a little bit higher. You don't always have these wins. I think once we loaded the patient onto the cot with pulses and, it's like we did a good job, and that's a really good feeling. It feels like a win, and so often you get losses. Most often we don't get ROSC back.
Once we got the patient back, you can tell that there was a shift in the room because everyone kind of realized what was going on. And once we got the patient loaded up and was walking out, everyone in there is getting pretty excited, so everyone kind of starts clapping, and we were able to exit, and my crew, me and my partner, as well as the fire department, we're all looking at each other like, yeah, we got him back, good. And that was just a happy moment.
Let's get him in the ambulance and get him to the hospital.
Engine 10, Med 1, District 10.
Water with emergency, this is Mallory.
Hi, Mallory. This is Marcella with Life 257.
Hi, what you got for us?
So I'm coming to you with an 18-year-old male, Ross. Sounds like he was playing out on the basketball court, and he fell and hit his head and went unresponsive. 911 was called, but when first responders arrived, they found him pulseless with agonal respirations. They started CPR. His downtime was a total of 10 minutes. He received 2 defibrillations, one with an AED, and then one with our cardiac monitor. He was in VTAC when we arrived. Post-Ross, we have a blood pressure of 110/80, a current heart rate of 80, SpO2 of 98, with respirations of 18 without ventilation, so he's been doing those himself.
Throughout transport, he had still stayed very stable, and then we started to notice that his eyes were opening and he was breathing pretty much fully on his own with only a little bit of assistance from us. Then I started noticing that he was able to move his hands, and I even noticed that I could talk to him and he was looking at me, and I asked him to give me a thumbs up, and when I saw him give me that thumbs up, I knew we were, in business.
Like I said, I remember that stuttering of hearing from a nurse or a page that it was an 18-year-old out of hospital cardiac arrest. Someone playing basketball collapsed. And so you're like, wait a minute, was this an 18-year-old or 80-year-old out of hospital cardiac arrest? And you're like, oh, So you get your team prepared. My name is Steve Denhoff, emergency medicine physician. When the patient came in, he was unresponsive still. We weren't sure how an outcome was going to be, but you can know that the people that worked on this 18-year-old put their heart and soul into this to do what they're trained for, to initiate early CPR, to deliver those shocks, and then reassess. And that's kind of what we're trained for in EMS, is do the intervention, reassess, and get them in. And that was 100% appropriate that I would see, and we had a good outcome with this case. When we have cardiac arrest, it's kind of routine elderly patients. It's highly unlikely to get an 18-year-old collapse. Like, this is what we train for, and this is what we have our biggest impact on. But this was a very rare case of out-of-hospital cardiac arrest in an 18-year-old. So that was a rare case.
I think the message that I would think that we could all, stand to hear is that, we run into a lot of cardiac arrests, and most people, we don't get ROSC and they don't survive, but that we do this and we work these people for that long just for these moments, in someone's life, that, even if it's 1 in 30, it's worth it to do your best.
I did. It was so unexpected. I never imagined this could really happen to me. My name is Jonathan Harrell, and I lived in Grand Rapids my whole life. I just remember my friends texting me to asking if I wanted to go hoop or play basketball, Yeah, I always liked to play basketball, so I said yeah. And that's really all I remember from that day. I just remember waking up and saying to myself, why am I here? I see my family there, what happened? So that's really what I remember when I first woke up. Then they told me what happened and stuff, so I was just like, ain't that really happened? Yeah, my parents was like, your heart stopped beating, you weren't here, and then they brought you back. Definitely changed the way I look at life, the way I moved on from it, looking forward, this could happen to anybody, everybody around me said I changed for the better, I'm more different, I improved on stuff. I started eating more healthy and stuff. EMS is very important, and without EMS, like, I probably wouldn't be alive, and that's probably with a lot of other people too. So think about it, it's very sad because it happened like around this time last year. I just like thank God that I'm still alive. It's a blessing. I just really want to thank him. I know like a lot of my family members thank him too, because like I was a big part and I'm the youngest sibling. So like all of my older siblings and parents were just down for a couple days or whatever. And they're just happy that I'm alive. I would just like to thank them for being there that day and saving my life, you know, because I probably wouldn't be there if they wasn't there to respond to us. So, yeah, I just would like to thank them.
You know, calls like this one really, you know, reignite, you know, your love for the job.
EMS, without those early interventions, the outcome could have been much worse.
Our interactions with the EMS personnel are overwhelmingly positive. Whenever they show up, there is a bit of a relief with us because we know additional support, additional competent support is there, and that the outcome for the patient is much improved once they show up, because all of us working together give the patient better chances.
I have enjoyed my time being a paramedic in Kent County here. I mean, I've gotten to work alongside so many fantastic medics, as well as, you know, just dealing with the system and all, you know, the doctors and healthcare professionals associated.
I think it's great. We work primarily with life here, probably 99 out of 100 calls, and they've got some great medics, and we work to have a great relationship with them, and they work to have a great relationship with us. So we kind of know each other, and you know, we know what to expect from each other on scene. They know, you know, who's there to really help out, and hopefully they enjoy working with us as much as we enjoy working with them.
It's a great feeling. I think that that's why all of us in this organization are here for. You know, we want to genuinely make a difference in people's lives. And so when you have a win like that, it kind of puts things into a bigger perspective. You know, you can get frustrated by the daily mundane things, but when you make a difference like that, it's like, this is why I'm here. This is what I'm here for.
You're doing like a good thing in the world. Keep doing it, and we appreciate you. Even the people that doesn't go through stuff like that, maybe one of their family members went through something like that, so they still thank you for being there and saving these people, save people in general.